Good morning, all. Today, I am discussing about performance appraisal. So, this is very important process in the HRM process after selection. So, after selection of the employee, you have to train them, and yeah, after that, you place that person to in particular position. That means job. After that, you have to measure the performance of the employee, each and every employee in the organization. That is very important thing. Okay. So why? Because without knowing the performance of the employee, so how they are working, then you are unable to decide the salary. That means in future you have to give the incentives, and also you have to give the increments, and also without knowing the performance of the employee, how they are improving their skills, and also that is uh, that is a bigger problem for the management, because productivity of the employee is very important. That means how much they are efficient and how much they complete their task in that particular time. That is very important. So those who are working and those who are not working, then the monitoring is very important. So you have to encourage those who are working, those who are perform well, and also you have to motivate uh, those who are not working, and you have to identify them, and you talk with them. Then you give some suggestions how to improve their productivity, so and how to improve their skills and how to improve their efficiency. After that, you have to take the necessary actions. Suppose is there any no change in the performance of the employee after warning or some information you have to give, then you need to take the necessary actions. Okay. So for that purpose, the performance appraisal is very important with the salary. So how to give the, how to decide the salary, and how to then at the time of increments and all other things. So then performance appraisal or performance review is a systematic process in which employee performance at work is evaluated in relation to the projects and which employees are worked and his contribution to the organization. So it is also known as an annual review or performance review. So performance appraisal, the second name, the alternative name is performance review, is a systematic process in which employee performance at work is evaluated in relation to the projects. So it is a systematic process which employees performance at work is evaluated in relation to the projects on which a employee has worked and his contribution to the organization. So based on their working projects, how they are involved in that project and how they are contributed in that project. So at the time of working, how is performance, then all these things are observed and evaluated. Okay. So then it is also known as an annual review or performance review. This is also called as annual review. Suppose after completing year, so financial year or some year, then within a, suppose some 1 year period, then you have to evaluate each and every employee performance levels, how they are working. So then you have to review it also. Then the basic purpose of performance appraisal is to identify employees' worth and contribution to the company. Okay, so the basic purpose of performance appraisal is to identify employees' worth and contribution to the company. So, and you have to identify the worth of the employee and also contribution to the employee company. Then how much contribution is given by the employee to the company. That is another important thing. Then important factors include attendance, efficiency, attitude, quality of work, amount of work, are just a few important factors. Okay, so the important factors are including attendance, so efficiency, attitude, quality of work, amount of work, or just a few important factors. These are the factors. You have to, based on these factors, I have to evaluate the performance of the employee. So attendance, how the attendance and how efficient and how the attitude of the employee and how quality of work, that means is giving quality output or not, and the amount of work, how much amount of work is doing. So based on all these things, then you have to measure the performance of the employee. Then after that, the physical or objective factors like attendance, amount of work, efficiency can be easily measured by the records maintained by the human resource department. So human resource department HR manager is keeping all these records about attendance and the amount of work and efficiency that can be easily managed and easily measured. However, it gets a bit icy, a bit icy when it comes to measuring the subjective factors like attitude, behavior, friendliness, etc. So the remaining factors, important factors, another important factor, subjective matters or subjective factors. Those are related to the psychology and personality of the employee. That means attitude of the employee, behavior of the employee, friendliness of the employee. So these are the things related to the subjective factors. These are this is very critical thing. So evaluation of these things. So based on psychology, then you have to evaluate these things. So, but to properly evaluate an individual's performance, appraisal of both subjective and objective factors needs to be done. But you have to focus on both the subjective factors and objective factors. So the efficiency and attendance, these are all objective factors, and subjective factors both are very important while doing performance appraisal. So both are properly evaluated, then only we are able to appraise performance in 100%. Okay, so that is very important. That is full performance appraisal. Then as Dale Yoder said, so performance appraisal includes all formal procedures used to evaluate personalities and contributions and potential of group members in a working organization. Okay, so performance appraisal includes all formal procedures. So all the formal procedures are there. Used to evaluate personalities. First, you have to evaluate the personality of the employee and contributions and potential of group members. That means after that, contribution made by the employee and also what is the potentiality of the group members in a working organization. Then it is a continuous process to secure information necessary for making correct and objective decisions on employees. Then after that, it is a continuous process to secure information. So it is a continuous process to secure information necessary for making correct and objective decisions on employees. Then you have to take the objective decisions on employee. Then this information is necessary. Then you have to secure that information because it is a continuous process. Then every year you have to evaluate the performance of the employee. It is a continuous process. You have to secure and keep all the data regarding the employee. While you are taking the objective decisions on the employee, this data is very much useful. So that is the definition of Dale Yoder. Okay. Then after that, what are the major important components of the performance appraisal process? So in diagram, you are able to see. So the major components are four. So one is define expectations. First, you have to define the expectation. That means what is the standard performance levels at before you have to evaluate the performance of the employee. Then first you have to define the expectations. Suppose first step is the record performance. First you have to record the performance of the employee. Then after that you have to define the expectation. Then after that you have to define the expectation. That means what is the desired level of the performance. Then you have to decide it. After that you have to measure and evaluate. That means you have to comparison on the between the recorded performance, that is the actual performance, and the standard performance. Then you have to compare to both of them. Then after that you have to provide the feedback to the employee. So is there any necessary is there any corrections are there? You have to provide the feedback in the form of feedback. So you require some changes in your working conditions. That means your work culture. Then you have to change some things because your performance is very low. So then you are changed your working style. Then you have to improve your efficiency and skills and knowledge. So then is there any need of the training? Then you have to train them under a senior person. Then is after trained, then he show good performance. Then he perform well. Okay, this is the thing. Then these are the four important concepts. Then record these are the four components, major components of the performance appraisal. Then after that, so performance appraisal process. What is the performance appraisal process? How you done the performance appraisal? So first you have to set the performance standard performance levels. First you have to set the standard performance levels. Suppose some criteria, that means you have to put some uh, standard performance that all of the employees doing this task in a 1 month, then that is the standard performance. That means you have to give some particular time. Within the time frame they are completing the task, then that is the standard performance. Okay, so first you have to set the standard performance levels. Then after that, set up measurable goals. So second point is set up measurable goals. Then you have to set the measurable goals. That means uh, what type of goals you have to set, that should be measurable. That means you have to measure that goals, otherwise there is no use at all. That then you have to set the measurable goals, those who are measured, able to measure, then you have to set that goals only. Okay, set up measurable goals. Then third one is measure actual performance. After that you have to measure the actual performance of the employee. Okay, that is the third step. And fourth step, compare with preset standards and goals. After that you have to compare with preset standards and goals. Then what is the standard? First you have to set the standard performance, then you have to compare with the actual performance with the standard performance. Then after that, is there any deviations are there, then you have to discuss with the employee. Then meet the expectations, did not meet the expectations, exceeded the expectations. That means suppose you have to meet the standard performance, then there is no problem. And did not meet the expectations, that means the employee is not meeting the standard performance levels, then he needs some training or some corrections in his work. So then exceeded the expectation, suppose his performance is exceeded the standard performance, then that is very good condition. So only the problem is those who are not meet the expectations, that is the problem for the organization. Then you have to train that people. The manager responsibilities, you have to identify that people. Then after that you have to talk with that people. Then you have to identify the problems of that people. Then after that there is a need of any training or something correction actions, then you have to guide them. And they are also trying to give better performance. You are giving some the manager is giving some options, that means some time to change their working style. Then after that there is no change in the employee's attitude or working style, then you are dismiss that person from the organization. Okay, that is the only solution. Then take corrective actions, then set standards for next cycle. Then is there any corrective actions needed, then you have to take them corrective actions. Then after that, set standards for next cycle. Then after that, you have to set the standards. That means every time suppose they are achieving the standard performance levels, then after that you have to change that standard level. That means you have to increase the standard performance. Then only the work is going on. The work is in going to correct speed. That means in correct time, within the time frame you have to complete the task. Then we are changing the production speed in this way. Okay, so that means next time for suppose in first cycle, then you set the standard time as a 8 suppose 1 hour for one piece production. Then after that you have to reduce that 80 minutes, some uh, 40 to 50 minutes. Okay, so at first cycle The standard time is 1 hour. So after that, in second cycle, you have to reduce the time. That means some 40 minutes or 50 minutes. Okay. So then the standard time is changed to next cycle. So or is there any chance? Suppose all the employees are not met the standard level. That means there is a problem in the standard time because you are setting the low standard time because nobody is reached, nobody is completed the task within the time. That means you have to change the standard time. Okay, then you need to change the standard time in next cycle. Okay, then in this way you have to correct the uh, standards in the next cycle according to the previous one. Okay, then after that, performance appraisal methods. Okay, so performance appraisal methods, then you have to measure the performance of the employee. Then there is two methods are there. One is traditional methods and second one is the modern methods. So performance methods, appraisal methods are two types. One is traditional method and the second one is modern methods. So first come under traditional methods of appraisal. So under this traditional methods of appraisal, first one is the confidential report. The name of the first model is method is confidential report. This is comes under traditional method. So this is a traditional method of appraisal. Generally, government organizations use it for appraisal. So this is method is used by the government while performance appraisal. Then employees immediate superior prepares this report. Those who are the superiors of the employee, though they are report they are prepares this report because uh, he is he is completely know about the employee. So it covers the strengths and weaknesses, main achievements and failures, etc. So in this report, he gives about the strength of the employee and weakness of the employee, and the main achievements of the employee and failures of the employee. And hence it becomes a descriptive report for the promotions and transfers of the employee. So depending upon this report, then the promotions and transfers are decided. One of the disadvantages of this method is its dependability on impressions rather than data. So it not depending upon the data, it is completely depending upon the dependability on impressions. So suppose what type of impression you have on the employee, that shows major impact on the performance appraisal also. Because you have a positive opinion on the employee, then you are neglecting some of the factors while time at the time. Suppose mm, you have to measure the performance of the employee, then some favoritism is there. You show some favoritism on employee because you have some suppose some positive impression on that employee. So that's why it does not gives an exact report to on employee. Okay, so this is not exact measurement of the performance of the employee. So this method focuses on evaluation rather than developing employees. So this method is mainly focuses on the evaluation rather than developing employees. So in this method, it is not focusing on how to develop the employees' skills and how to develop their performance, but it is only focusing on evaluation. Okay, not on developing employees. Okay, so this is the confidential report. Then second one is free form or essay method. So this is also another second method in traditional methods. So under this method, the evaluator writes a short essay on the employee's performance on the basis of overall impression. So based on the overall impression of the employee, so he writes some short essay on the employee. So how they are behaving, or and what are the psychological feelings of the employee. Then you have to understand all of these things. So it provides a good amount of information about the employee. So in this method, it provides a good information related to the employee. So this method suffers some drawbacks like biases due to the high level of subjectivity, the dependence of evaluation on the writing ability of the evaluator. So this method, some of the drawbacks are there. So like biases due to the high level of subjectivity, because there is a high level of subjectivity because it is purely based on the psychological things of the employee or psychological things of the evaluator. So the dependence of evaluation on the writing ability of the evaluator. So it is completely depending upon the available ability of the writer. suppose evaluator. So he has the good writing abilities. So then he gives a complete report, suppose the proper report on patient. So that is free form or SI method. Then after that, then third one is straight ranking method. So next third model is a straight ranking method. So in the straight ranking method, in this technique, the evaluator assigns relative marks to all the relative ranks to all the employees in the same work unit doing the same job. They are doing the same job and also they are doing the same work. So these are comes under this one. So the evaluator provides a rank to the employees. Evaluator is providing the rank to the employees from good to poor on the basis of their performance, depending upon their performance. So they are giving the ranks. So for example, if 5 persons A, B, C, D and E get the rank on the basis of their performance, it will be like. So A rank is 2 and B rank is 1 and C rank is 5, and D rank is 4 and E rank is 3. So depending upon these ranks, you have to identify which one shows the better performance. Suppose B in a top position because he is having the first rank. Now the second position is the A and third position is E and the fourth position is D and fifth position is C. Okay. So AB then for example, if 5 persons A, B, C, D, E and A, B, C, D and E get a rank on the basis of their performance. Okay. So this rank on the basis of their performance. Okay, so based on their performance, the rank is allotted. So it will be like, okay, so here 1 means good and 5 stands for poor. So 1 is good and 5 stands for poor. Those who are securing 1 rank, and then they are good. So remaining all are different. So then this indicates, this shows the rankings, how we are giving the ranks based on their performance. Then we are giving the ranks in this way. So here 1 means good and 5 means poor. Okay. So and after that paired comparison method. So another next important thing is paired comparison method. So under this paired comparison method, so you have to divide the employees into the pairs. Suppose there is 10 employees are there. So then the names of the employees, just you have to assume A, B, C, D, E, that is one group, and E, F, G, H, I, J, so that is another group. So then you have to compare each of them, then you have to test it. Okay. So suppose A is compared with A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, E, F. So A to E is one group, from F to J. So up to J, there is second group. Okay. So then you have to comparison with compared with A to A with F, just B with G. So like this, you have to compare the pairs, and you are getting idea about that. Okay. So after that, you have to get the idea about that how you are compare. So paired comparison method means, so you have to compare. Okay, so with pair, one pair with one person with another person, then that is pair. Okay, suppose is there anybody is not comes under this, then this pair, then he pairs with another. Okay, so then paired comparison method is very important. So you have to convert it into total employees into pairs. And after that, you have to compare with one with another. Okay, so then paired comparison method. This is about paired comparison method. Okay, so this is very easy. After you have to filter completing this process, then you have to filter only the few people. Then yeah, you need to, there is no problem at all with that person. So there is no change at all. Okay, so this is paired comparison method. You have to comparison with one with another. That is paired comparison method. One with one. So one to one. Okay. So this is very, very important. That is paired comparison method. So then after that, forced distribution system. So another important thing is forced distribution system. So in this technique, the rater distributes his rating in the form of a normal frequency distribution. They are giving some form in a normal distribution process. So normal frequency distribution. So the rater distributes his rating in the form of a normal frequency distribution. So normal frequency, based on this normal frequency distribution, the distributors is giving rating. So its basic purpose is to eliminate the rater's bias of central tendency. So central tendency is eliminated. Then this method is extremely easy to apply and understand. This is very, very easy to apply and understand. One of the disadvantages of this method, is that the rater cannot explain why an employee is there in a particular category. Suppose you have to put some into some category, so employee, then the rater cannot know about the why employee is put in that particular category. So he is unable to explain. So because it is a disciplinary action. So this is about forced distribution method. So after that, graphic rating scales. So graphic rating scales means just like that, you have to take the graph paper and you have to draw the graphs and bars. So then you have to fill with colors. So just like that, this is also graphic rating scales. So it is a numerical scale which states different degrees of a particular trait. So suppose you have to take some particular task or something. So then it states different stage degrees of a particular trait. So some different degrees numerical scale with which states different degrees. So these states with different degrees. So company or organization provides a form to each evaluator. So each form contains many characteristics relating to the personality and performance of the, so relating to the performance and personality of the employee. So each form contains many characteristics. So based on the personality and performance of the performance related characteristics, you have to uh, evaluate the performance of the employee. Hence, the rater records his judgment on the employee's trait on the scale. So depending upon the employee trait on the scale, then he come to uh, one decision or judgment. So how the employee is working, how much rating uh, how much rating for that employee, then he will be decided. Then checklist method. So under next one is checklist method. So in checklist method, so what are the factors you need to evaluate? Then you have to write on paper or some take a printout and print on paper. Then the forms are giving to all the evaluators. Then the evaluator or a rater asking questions based on this criteria, but is already there in the checklist. So you have to ask the employee. So then he answers your questions. Then your tick. So he has that factor. So or he has some characteristics related. Suppose the characteristics the employee is having, then you have to tick it in that checklist. Okay. So if the employee does not have the factors, so suppose what are mentioned in that paper, then you have to mark it as a into. So he is not having that quality or attitude. So in this way, you have to fill all the items in the checklist. So then you are able to describe or analysis how the employee and what is the attitude of the employee. So how they are working or something, how is their perception. Then you have to identify all these things. So this one of the traditional methods of appraisal. A checklist is nothing but a list of statements that describe the characteristics and performance of employees on the job. So then you have to describe the characteristics and performance of employees. Okay, based on this statement, then you have to describe the characteristics and the performance of the employee on the job. So the rater ticks checks to indicate if the employee possesses any specific trait, quality or not. So the rater is marking. So then he is able to understand what it is. Then hence the number of ticks describe the rating or result of the employee. So if those who are getting the more ticks, then he has the good efficiency and his performance is very good. So those who are having low ticks, then we understand as the low performance. Okay, so based on this ticks, then you have to decide is efficient or not, or his performance is good or not. So these are the traditional methods for performance appraisal. Okay, right, thank you. So today I stopped over here.